things are you get a chance to bond with your children in a really unique way. You get to educate them and teach them and learn with them. I've learned so much just working with my children. Flexibility and schedule that was mentioned earlier. I don't give homework, you know, I'm there, so I don't need to give homework, so I don't have homework. We don't have to wake up at crazy hours.
Yes.
You know, and those are all positive things. I remember my first year homeschooling, and we were out, it was like 8:30, and I had this like anxiety of like, oh my goodness, we gotta get home and get ready. And I'm like, oh, no we don't. We don't have to get home and get ready. We're cool. We can enjoy our day. We can enjoy the evening. I'm not a slave to someone else's schedule. So those are all positive things. Can you guys give any thoughts?
Yeah, you definitely have firsthand knowledge of your child's needs and like what they need to work on. So that's great because you don't have to wait for the teacher to tell you your child needs to focus on this a little more. You can see it and say, okay, let me make sure I focus on this. I think Destiny just mentioned that it makes you a better learner. Like you don't stop growing and stop learning because you have to be on point so you can be on point for them. I would say there's less distractions. You don't have to worry about them being distracted by peers in the classroom. You can strip away the unnecessary subjects that they're going to keep teaching over and over that they learn and filling your child's brain with nonsense. You can keep that away. One of the cons I would say is that sometimes your children are so comfortable in their own home that they can be lazy. You know, they might feel like, okay, it's nap time, I'm tired, and you just have to be more firm because they're in their comfort zone. The lack of social interactions with other children, but you can make up for that. Like I said, you can put them in extracurricular activities and, you know, Euclid, or take them to the park, have them meet friends, form play dates. Another con is that you basically have to have an income supplement. You know, if you have a two-parent home, it's great. But if you have a one-parent home, it might be kind of hard. You know, you're sacrificing giving up that income.
I think another thing too is in terms of a pro is that if you have taken your child out because they was not flourishing in the school system, it's an excellent opportunity to relearn your child and reconnect with your child, because you may have been told all these things about their abilities, and you have to free yourself from those things that were told to you and kind of redevelop and say, oh, my child is really bright in this area and he's really great in this area. So it's a really good chance to kind of rebond, reevaluate, boost their confidence, boost their esteem from what they had been told they wasn't good at with grades and all of that kind of thing.
Well, not every day, but like we don't necessarily have like a summer break. Like I look at it like every day. You're supposed to learn something new every day. You're supposed to learn something new every single day. So even though, and that's the beauty of homeschooling, because it's not like, all right, you got a test on Friday because I taught you A, B, and C this week. It's every day, even if it's not formal homeschooling. We are still, like with my 2-year-old, 4-year-old, when we're driving out, what does that sign say? What is that? Just constant reinforcement of identification, because African babies don't learn by sitting down and someone lecturing at them. We learn by doing. If we really look at our culture on the continent, they look at the way we educate kids as crazy, because their classroom is like the outside. Only people that have been Europeanized sit down and talk at their children all day. Everybody else teaches their children by doing. So like the whole concept of even having a school year, that's like so much, as a teacher, as an educator, so much learning loss occurs during the summer, because our kids are not, our babies, our children are not exposed to anything during the summer. So when they come back, as a teacher, I can tell you, part of the reason why the school system is so ineffective is because the amount of time, we basically have to reteach the second half of the last school year all over again, and then we don't really start teaching your child new material until almost January, because learning loss is so extensive. And this is not just for one child, this is for everybody. So this is why we move them so slow. This is part of the reason why Najee was able to move 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade all in one school year, just because of the nature of, you know, how we teach kids. So I think every day should be a learning
Yeah, I do
experience.
September to June, and then in the summertime, she does like an hour during the day, and then she can have playtime. But during September to June, I go harder.
And then in terms of cons, for me, I think sometimes it can be isolating if you don't have a good circle of other families that do what you do. I have my own business, so I don't necessarily get a chance to interact with adults a lot. So, you know, the fact that I'm in the home with my children and then I go off on my own and run my business can be somewhat isolating. I think in terms of trying to create a balance between being a parent and then being the educator and then managing your household, all of that can get easily blurred when you're homeschooling. Trying to create those healthy separation lines there can get a little blurred. I think you can have developed unrealistic expectations for your children as a homeschooler because you hear things so often about how smart homeschool kids is, and I use the word smart in quotations because what does that really mean in, you know, in the sense of smart? You know, people are gifted definitely, but I think you can start to develop unrealistic expectations, put too much pressure on yourself and your child by homeschooling. I think, again, if you don't have the patience, I've seen some parents that are very intense. I mean, you know, they're like their children, you know, let them be a child and just enjoy learning. So you can create these false benchmarks that really may not need to exist right away for your child. So I think those are all cons.
My 15-year-old, he liked it to a certain extent, but he was definitely looking forward to going to high school. My 2-year-old and my 4-year-old, they don't know anything else, right? So it's kind of like, she's already had a taste of being, you know, like in school. So that would be, I would say, look, they have, I know Cleveland Heights has a very decent homeschool association, and the woman that runs it is actually a sister. She's actually a black lady. So depending on if you chose to homeschool, what area you live in, there are definitely, you know, different play groups and things like that that you can take your daughter to, being that she's 5. But like I said, my 2-year-old, my 4, they don't know anything else, so they don't know anything but each other. So, you know.
And that would be the same with my daughter who's 7. She's never been to school before, other than when she was younger. She went to like a preschool. So she doesn't. My oldest daughter, I think she doesn't complain. Like, it's not something that I have to struggle with in terms of getting her prepped for school each day. I think sometimes she misses being, because she has something to compare it to. She misses the interaction with other children daily of her age. So I try and supplement that by extracurriculars. But overall, they don't complain about being homeschooled. If they did, though, I can tell you, if it was something that they didn't enjoy, I would still homeschool them, though.
You said they did not enjoy it, you still would?
I still would, yes.
Because kids don't like private school, and parents do.
Send them
there.
I'll just say, as a teacher, definitely the socialization is huge, because I know oftentimes I can tell when students are homeschooled, and I mean in a good way, but also in a bad way when it comes to socialization. Like it's oftentimes very clear when it comes to interacting with other kids. Like, it's just sometimes it's almost like an awkwardness that I've seen. But also, students on the flip side, I can tell academically when students have been homeschooled as well. So just, you know, make sure that they're getting that social interaction.
I think it depends on the child. When I wanted to homeschool, my family wasn't supportive, and one of the things everyone kept bringing up is, what about her social skills? What about her? She doesn't have problems with social skills. She's the one, when she goes to parks, she'll go to, because she doesn't have a complex that some kids have from going to school, you know, they've been broken down by other children. She doesn't have that complex, so she doesn't pick and choose friends based off of what they look like, how they're dressed and stuff. She just wants a friend. When she goes to the park, hey, you want to play? And as far as when I took her to events with me last year to help sell books and stuff, she was something else. I was very impressed with her. My husband was very impressed with her, very outgoing, outspoken.